Hi, I'm Jake.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Dave.
Welcome to the relaunch. I don't know. What are we calling this? The reunion?
Yeah.
Reunion of the Beardyheads. I made it back to Texas.
Yeah, he's alive.
Yeah, we're glad you're back. But let's not move you up 3 flights of stairs ever again.
Well, I mean, I like being on the top floor, and my cat will have a commanding view.
Does that mean you're a top?
Of the parking lot.
He is. Well, with me, he's a power bottom.
Yeah, I like to be in charge, even.
Doesn't matter where I'm at.
He is a gentle lover.
It doesn't
sometimes.
really matter. We are now we are now all in the same room for the first time since we've started recording podcasts.
So it won't sound like dog shit because of TeamSpeak.
It won't sound like so much dog shit.
It'll still be dog shit.
Yeah, I mean,
let's
we got a lot to figure out. We're working with our audio setup here. We should have something a little better set up.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We're amateurs after all. I mean,
I think once we have booms for everybody and all that stuff. But we'll talk about that sometime else. Maybe we'll do that on the... I think we're talking about another podcast pretty soon.
Yeah.
We're talking about a couple. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it.
Okay.
So, guys, Dave, why don't you tell us what you're playing?
I've been playing War Thunder. It's a free-to-play game, so you can just go home and download it if you want. But there's like 2 parts to it. There's the aerial part, which is fun. It's all World War II. I mentioned that. And then there's the tank parts. I've mainly been playing with the tanks because it's just been a lot of fun, just fucking everybody up.
Yeah, I started it with the airplanes because I wanted to try out my joystick, and I think I downloaded War Thunder just because I could. And I liked what I played, and then I didn't even know there was a tank portion to it until you got me into it, and I've been having fun with that too.
I mean, it's just fun because you got to hit different parts of the tank and eliminate the crew, and it's just fun. Sometimes you're like sitting there in your tank, and they just keep shelling you. Like you get hit 10 times, and it's doing nothing.
I watched you play the tank portions, and I've never really been into tank stuff. And then as soon as I saw that, I went out and bought Fury. I haven't watched it yet, but it made me want to watch Fury.
It definitely made me want like a tank game. It made me want to do something tanky, and like that game does it. I like the way when you hit a shot on a tank, it'll actually show you an X-ray view of like here's the engine, the transmission, and the crew. Here's what all got damaged inside the tank, and if you lose your crew,
it's mainly with the Russians I've seen it, but there are fragmentation shells. And basically, if it can get through the armor, they don't pierce very much armor. But if it gets through, it'll show you all the shrapnel just fucking spread out. And it's pretty much guaranteed to... If it gets through the armor, it's pretty much guaranteed to kill the tank.
So basically, if you can get that through somebody's viewport, it's bad news bears for everybody inside.
Now, you said it was free to play. What do you pay for?
I have paid some money for it. I'm ashamed to say.
I wouldn't ever be ashamed of paying for anything in a free to play because you get what you pay for. Really,
some of it.
Yeah, you really do.
That's true.
That's why I like
some
that
of
model.
it though has been like time saving stuff, like the gold, the in the game currency. Yeah. But there's also like extra special vehicles you can pay for. Cool. The main one that I got is like $30, and it's got 2 campaigns, 2 aerial historic campaigns.
Sweet.
Like I have a video up of one of the campaigns.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot to make you thumbnails for those.
Yes, you did. Oh, well, some of the pictures that they just gave me as an opportunity, I was like, that looks like looks good.
Well, because you said you needed a thumbnail for it, and I was like, okay, let me Google this, and it was a bunch of pictures of jets, and I was like, all right, War Thunder, and I made a fucking jet thumbnail, and then I watched the video, I'm like, this is a tank.
These are all tanks.
To be fair, though, you can get jets in that game. Surprisingly, like towards the end of the tech trees, I mainly noticed that you start getting Korean War stuff. Mm-hmm. Like the last tank for the Americans is the M60, and I saw that. I was like, what the hell is that doing in this game? That wasn't a World War II tank.
I think it was World War II through the Korean War.
M60 is not
No. I mean the timeline of the tanks, because it's not like any historical battles or anything. It's just you're basically like, here's the stuff of the day, and it doesn't matter if you pick Soviet, German, or American, or Polish, or whoever. Yeah. Like you're just all going to be on one side or the other.
Oh, there's 5 nations you can choose from: the Germans, the Americans, the Russians. Then there's also the British.
Oh, that's right, the British.
And there's the Japanese, but the Japanese don't have a tank portion. They only have airplanes.
They only have planes. Yeah, I don't think they did much tank battles.
Well, there wasn't a whole lot of room for tanks in the island hopping.
In the jungle.
Well, if we were to play this together, would we would we be able to command one tank, or would we have our own crew?
We would have our own tanks.
Oh, okay. Because I think that'd be kind of cool if we could have like a first-person view of our station in a tank.
That would be awesome.
You could be driving. I could be like a gunner or whatever, and you could be lookout or whatever. Kind of like Yuri.
There was a flight sim, and I can't remember the name of it, but I played it a long time ago, and it had where you could pilot a B-17, and one of you could be the pilot. Somebody else everybody had a gunner station, and then somebody else was the bombardier. So, like, you basically flew as a crew. Like, you all fly as a crew, so that way it doesn't, like, crash whenever you switch from the pilot
And then
seat.
we get a Spruce Goose mod and try to take that bitch off.
Oh, dude. If we could do that, I wonder if Flight Sim X has one, actually.
A Spruce Goose?
We might have to see if there's a Spruce Goose in FSX.
You're going to fly 50 feet off the ground for, like, a mile, maybe? I don't know how far that
I don't think I got that far.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was measured in meters. Like, it wasn't even a kilometer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean...
They basically enough to prove that it could fly, and then he was like, well, we're going to put that in the garage and just never talk about it again.
It's like, fuck all of you.
The Soviet one looks even crazier. I'll have to show you a picture of the Soviet, the Soviet airliner that was basically had, like, it was supposed to be for the Russian elite. It's pretty nuts. But Steve, you got the one I'm most jealous of. What have you been playing?
Well, I bought a Humble Bundle for Ubisoft, and I got the closed beta for The Division. They have since announced it's going to come out. There's an open beta going to come out this month, I think. But yeah, The Division. I played the beta, and it was good. I really enjoyed it. The first thing that I thought it was before they let me play it, and it's exactly what I thought. It's Destiny.
It does look very Destiny-ish.
It's definitely Destiny, so it's my kind of game, but I think it might be the kind of Destiny other people might like better than Destiny fans because it has a story. It was locked, so you don't know the story. I have my suspicions.
Oh.
I have my suspicions of what the story is, but it is definitely fun.
Yeah, it's more of a grounded, it's less sci-fi than
Yes.
Destiny.
And I like it because you were locked off to a specific portion of the city, and I saw the map, and the map's pretty big, but it's still not all of New York. But the first thing I noticed is, if you play Grand Theft Auto 5 or any of them open world games, it seems kind of like a condensed version of a city. It's still large, but it's still like it's the best parts of LA or in San Andreas or whatever, and so it's more condensed. This seems to be, from what I've been reading online, because I've never been to New York, but it seems to be like a scale version of New York. Like
I've heard
fucking New York.
I've heard it's built to scale. It's fucking huge because it's just Manhattan right now, right?
Yeah, and supposedly Brooklyn, you can't, or you might be able to go to Brooklyn. I can't remember, but
I'm sure it'll expand out in DLC.
You know what?
As the seasons go on, if it's anything like Destiny, it's gonna have like that episodic content.
I will definitely, if they make it bigger maps, I will, because the section of the map they let me play, I explored the shit out of it. I did all the random tasks and all that bullshit, and I can see there could be repetition for, the people that don't like Destiny. It has the grinding element in there, but there are tasks you can do.
Yeah.
But the real thing is the PvP, where the what does they call it, the hot zone or red zone or whatever the fuck it's called.
I think it's Hot Zone. I watched you playing a little bit.
It's Dark Zone, maybe? I don't know.
Dark Zone.
Yeah, that's a different animal, and there's no load screen. You just open a door, or you hop over a fence, and then you're there, and
Sweet.
That's where you see other players. Because in the open areas, you don't see anybody else.
So what you playing, Jake?
Well, I have been playing The Long Dark. And actually, I'll be honest with you, I haven't really been playing a lot because I've been packing and getting ready for the move and working.
Excuses.
I know, right? I haven't been playing video games like I'm supposed
Fucking
to.
nerd. You and your fucking responsibilities.
Fucking adult life.
I know. I'm such an asshole. But I thought I'd talk about... I mentioned it in the last podcast, but I thought I'd talk more at length about it because... when we talked about our open world, when we did our open world discussion, you were talking about how you don't really like open world stuff because a lot of times...
I like open world, but I feel like they just don't utilize it properly.
Like, they don't do a lot with the story. Like, the story's not... It's basically go to point X to get the next chunk of the story.
Pretty much, because, like, everything's very linear once you start the job.
So, like, in my opinion, the best way to do open world is, number one, have the story going on, and you can choose whether or not to become a part of it, which is sort of like Morrowind.
Yeah.
Morrowind's a great game where that was done, like, really well. the story's just gonna happen, and you can go and choose to be a part of it if you want to, or you can just go and like live life as a shopkeeper or whatever. You know, you can like buy a shop or whatever. It's insanely open world. Or number 2 is you have the story come out through emergent gameplay. And I'm kind of a fan of that. Subnautica does that really well, where it's like, oh, you have to go find these pieces, and then each piece sort of gives you it reveals a little more about the story, and there's like these audio logs that happen. Like, I'm very interested in what the story is going to be in Subnautica, but in Long Dark, like, it's very much like Dwarf Fortress. Like, you're kind of creating your own story. You basically the general plot right now. They don't even have a story mode. All they have is a sandbox mode in the alpha, which is for an alpha. By the way, I know you saw me play it, Dave.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it. Yeah, and you played the demo on Xbox One, right?
Yeah, I played the Xbox version of whatever they have out now, alpha.
It's a gorgeous game.
It looks almost done to me.
Honestly, it's almost a finished game.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe that's an alpha. I can't believe they're adding more. I don't know what they're going to add. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to add. It's unforgiving as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, it's a game that you fail a lot, but you're also rewarded for failure. Like, you learn something every time you fail, kind of like Dwarf Fortress.
So it's like preschool.
Dark Souls.
It is. It is like preschool.
And
Dark Souls, that's another
preschool is like Dark Souls too.
Preschool is also like Dark Souls. I can't tell you how many times I went to preschool and I had to like beat up a giant fat Buddha, with golden skin and a giant hammer, and he killed me 7 times. And that was preschool for me.
Child death, man.
Just respawn and just do it the next day.
But yeah, general plot of Long Dark is you crash your plane in the Canadian wilderness, and then you just have to survive.
Nice.
All the electronics are gone. There's basically been an EMP storm or something. There's no electric stuff. So you have to do everything, like just basic survival skills.
It reminds me of this game. It was a Game Boy game called Survival Kids. Of course, Survival Kids wasn't nearly as dark, but basically you're just this kid. You get stranded on an island. You have to find a way off.
Oh, that sounds like fun, actually.
Yeah, I still have it. There's like a bunch of there are different ways to get off the island.
Could you die of hypothermia?
No, you die of thirst, and you could die. It wasn't.
You did have.
I mean, this was the original Game Boy we're talking about here.
Oh, wow, that's old.
I mean, or Game Boy Color, but it sounds similar to that, just a lot darker.
It reminds me of The Forest. Did you ever play that?
Forest yet.
I've watched some gameplay of it. I don't know if it's still early access or if it's released or not, but it's actually, I think it's on sale now in the current sale. But you crash in a plane in the opening of that game, and you actually are in the crash. That's the opening of the game, is the crash. I don't know if the Long Dark would open with that or not.
Long Dark probably will open with the crash happening.
Because all I've seen is I'm in the woods now.
Yeah, it basically starts right now.
I'm in this house.
You're in the woods.
There is something though. I mentioned it to you before. I hope that when it comes fully released, that there is a point in the game where you do get saved. Like there is actually like an end point.
I almost hope there's not a point where you get rescued though. Like, I kind of like the idea that it's just the end of civilization as we know it, and maybe like I'm assuming there's going to be like some procedural generation built in somewhere.
I mean, I can see why you would want that. I mean, you guys know that I'm story driven. That's why I got into gaming, because it was like an interactive book.
Yeah.
That's why I played RPGs back in the 90s, because I mean, it could hold my attention, and I could just get into it and still get a story. So sometimes I kind of dislike games where it's just, oh, here's this world, go do stuff.
I think The Long Dark might not have that, because it seems like a big part of the game is how long did you survive?
Yeah.
Because at the end of when you die, it's like, you survived this long. And I'm like, oh, cool, do better next time.
Yeah, but what if once you get to the point that you're just not going to die?
Well, and keep in mind, that's like just the sandbox mode. So the story mode probably does have, like, there's some general end point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with there being the sandbox mode, but I'm hoping that there is in the story a point where, hey, these people came and found me, or like maybe multiple endings, like in Survival Kids.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is one of the things I kind of hope that there is I really hope they're going to add more stuff to the game. Like, they've sort of hinted at there will be people in the game, and they will be either allied with you or allied against you.
Yeah.
And since it's a single-player game, like, how crazy is it going to be? it's not going to be other players like DayZ, which really that's a model that they could go after. Is sort of the DayZ, every man for himself model, because DayZ is essentially a survival simulator.
Yeah.
With one day we'll have zombies.
I always get because that'll happen.
If it's ever done.
Yeah, I always get Long Dark confused with Firewatch. Maybe it's because they both have axes in their logos.
Maybe. Oh, that's true.
I do get them confused a lot, and I'm just like, do they have the similar art style at all? I don't know anything about Firewatch.
A little bit, but Firewatch is story driven.
Firewatch is Firewatch is releasing with a complete story.
Yeah, it is.
And I think it's a little less on the survival side, isn't it? It's more.
It's like a mystery.
I've only seen the trailer that they had at E3 last year. I think it was in Sony's press conference, but it was the dude from Mad Men, the television guy.
Don Draper?
No, the television guy, the guy that's in charge of TV and
Pete.
No, Pete's. Don't mention Pete around me, motherfucker. I'm talking about the TV guy, the dude with the nerd glasses and the.
Oh, Harry Crane.
Yeah. He's a board game guy in real life, but yeah.
That's where I stole my style from.
I figured. Yeah.
I mean,
he did have a good style.
Maria calls them my pedo glasses.
Well, the Zodiac killer supposedly wore glasses like that, so you're not far off. But isn't he the voice in Firewatch?
I don't know.
I don't know a lot about the actors. I don't know entirely what the story is. I know that it starts off basically your only lifeline is this lady over the walkie-talkie, and you go out and you check something, at least in one of the trailers, and she's like, "Hey, did you make it back to your cabin?" And he's like, "Or to your tower?" She's like, "No, I'm still out here." Well, someone just turned the lights on in your cabin.
Yeah, that's the trailer I saw, and I think that is his voice. Well, what I hope is when they advertise that game before it launches. I don't know when it launches.
It launches Tuesday.
Okay. I hope nobody mentions anything in the story. I hope it's like a giant, like, crazy fucking twist in the middle of it. I mean, obviously there's going to be a twist of some kind or something weird.
Hopefully.
I just hope that it's one of those story-driven games where you're halfway through the game and you're like, holy fuck, what's going on?
Well, there'll be some Let's Play videos. I plan to record some.
I hope it's something surprising, like, because nobody really expected Until Dawn to be any good until it came out.
Until Dawn's got that cheesy story, but the twist is kind of fun, and it's just it was well done for what it is.
I think we are going to be discussing that in a little bit too.
Yes, we will.
Oh yeah, we'll be discussing that during our. We're going to go over our top 10. Yeah. But for now, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with some.
What have you got for news?
I have been real excited about the Steam Lunar New Year sale. This is like a new Steam sale.
Yeah, it's the first one.
This is the first time they've done it.
For like Chinese New Year.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is taking the place of Spring Sale or if we're just also going to get Spring Sale, which is kind of in line with what Steam does. Because, I mean, I think last year we had Adventurer Sale, and then we had Fall Sale.
I mean, they've got all sorts of sales throughout the year, so it'd make more sense. And also, I mean, just why would you get rid of Spring Sale? Because that probably nets them a ton of money.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty true. I'm not sure how much they take from sale revenue, but I know that that's their main source of revenue at this point.
I mean, if nothing else, it also
brings Steam.
It also brings in new people. Like, oh, there's this sale going on, then you get the game on sale, and then you start getting other stuff sent to you and advertisements. Like, that looks good. I might, yeah.
They have like a weird click adventure. What did you pick up, Jake?
I ended up getting I'm getting 2 DCS modules. I've already bought P51, which I was real excited to get, and I've basically been saving Christmas money on my Steam account just for P51 when it went on sale. It went on sale for like $20. I had $10 left. I think I might have got Duck Game. I'll probably end up getting Duck Game Have you guys seen Duck Game?
Yes, we need to play Duck Game.
We need to play some Duck Game. Duck Game is definitely something we need for, like, now that we're all in one place, we could do some couch co-op on Duck Game.
Some crazy fun co-op.
It's not co-op.
It's nuts. It's PvP. It's all PvP, 2D side scroller. You all play ducks. You pick up different weapons.
It's off the wall. But I won't lie, Jake. I'm excited to see you get shot down in P51.
I'm excited to be shot down in P51 instead of just flying the trainer in flat controlled circles like I've been doing. I'm basically Millhouse in that game. I'm just like, well, every good pilot needs to know how to turn.
It'll be like that night you were at the bar a couple years ago and you got shot down.
Well, that's pretty much, it's so general.
I've never been shot down. I don't understand this. What is shot down?
What is shot down?
I don't get that.
Steve got me XCOM 2. That technically wasn't on sale, but I feel it bears mentioning.
We just need XCOM 2 in our lives.
I think we just need some XCOM 2. He's right. I'll probably get A10C. I'm waiting to get paid. I'll get A10C.
I'll be here a lot more often just playing that game on your computer.
Yeah, I might have to come up behind you and garrote you to stop that from happening so much.
That seems like an overreaction.
You don't tell me how I'm overreacting, you son of a bitch. And then I got something else, and I can't remember what it was now.
Was it Rust? I know.
No. Rust did go on sale. You got Rust,
yeah, I
didn't you?
picked up Rust.
I did too.
Yeah, Steve got Rust.
I got Rust and Humble Monthly last month. That was a pretty good bundle.
Rust has been in my wish list for a while, but it's always been, what is it, 20, 30? I don't know what its normal price is.
30, I think.
Yeah, and
or at least 25.
It's like $10.
I think it's $20, and it went down to 10.
Yeah,
I think it was 50% off.
I got it for 10, and I was like, I've been wanting it.
It's a $10 game.
I mean, you can hang dong for $10, man. I mean,
yeah, people with their penises out. I mean, it's worth playing for the dudes with their penises out.
I mean, that's the only reason I bought the game is for the dongs.
Or later when they add women, there's some big old titties.
Well, yeah.
That's just, come on, Dave.
Okay.
We were talking about dongs here.
Right.
I'm the lowbrow
we were talking
one.
about dicks.
Girls in here.
We were talking about dicks, and you had to go and make it weird.
Okay.
How dare you? I got Rust, and I bought Talos Principle?
Oh, yeah, I got that on Humble Monthly as well.
I got that, and I got the DLC that wasn't bullshit DLC. It was,
did you get Road to Gehenna?
Yeah, I got that in the prototype one.
The prototype DLC?
I didn't want the soundtrack or the art book or whatever.
Okay, so you did pick up DLC. I haven't even picked up Road to Gehenna or Prototype, I don't think. I might go ahead and get those.
Well, I just see some gameplay of it, and I was like, that looks cool. So I like that. I like them weird-looking games.
That game actually started as the first, the Serious Sam sequel.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool.
Well, they have DLC that you can buy where I guess there's like a voice in your head in the game, or there's something that narrates.
Oh yeah, you're a robot.
Yeah.
And it's like after the fall of humanity, and you're like kind of trying to discover why humanity fell.
Well,
I think
they have a DLC where you can get the Serious Sam voice actor to be
oh dude, yeah, they got some pretty wacky stuff for DLC in Talos Principle. How about you, Dave? What do you got for us?
What news? There's been this fan remake of Metal Gear Solid.
Ooh.
And the Unreal Engine that it's been around for a few weeks. They keep promising big news, but they haven't announced it. I kind of think that maybe they've been dealing with Konami, and Konami's going to let it happen. I'm shocked that they have not been shut down.
I expect them to still.
You expect them to be shut down?
Well, Konami is famous for going back on their word. I mean,
that's true, but I think after the stuff that happened last year, I think Konami needs to do something. That looks good.
PR company or something.
They do. They need bad PR. I mean, they need that so bad.
Yeah.
But aren't they just gonna make pachinko machines now?
They've been. I don't know. They keep talking about
Kachina dolls. I don't know.
Basically, they want to go for the microtransaction mobile market.
Well, there is a lot of money in that.
There is. I mean, I don't blame them for wanting to get in on it.
I don't knock it because what is that? That stupid Bejeweled ripoff. Those
Candy Crush
make a fuck ton of money.
Or Flappy Bird made so much money just in advertisements. Yeah. But
is it called Shadow Moses?
That is the working title right now. I mean, it looks really good, what I've seen of it, and it looks like they're going to try to implement some features from Metal Gear Solid 5. They were talking about that the other day on their Facebook page.
I mean, I'll play it. When it comes out, I'll play it.
If there's anything that has Metal Gear in it, you will play it. Yeah. Because I am the same way.
Yeah, I'll play anything Metal Gear. I mean, I still think it's going to get shut down. Or
it wouldn't surprise me, but I'm hoping. You know.
Yeah, you can hope.
You can hope. I mean, there's also that saying, "Hope in one hand, shit in the other."
Yeah, which one fills up first?
But
There's another remake that got shut down not too long ago, wasn't there? They were remaking something and they got shut down.
there was. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, I
though.
can't. It was a fan remake. I can't remember what the name of it was, but they basically got a C&D. And they were. I can't remember. I'll have to do some research. We'll talk about it on the next
I
show,
remember
maybe.
Nintendo doesn't like it because there's people that have been remaking Mario 64 and
I saw,
Unreal.
That might have been what it was.
And then they did one for
Zelda.
Zelda, the Ocarina of Time, and they had the the Time Temple or whatever the fuck that is, the main hub where you go pull the sword out and
They
you're a
had
little boy.
they had that, but I also saw one of what was that village? Not Kokiri Village. That's where you were as a kid, but the one just east of the castle.
I don't remember their names.
But yeah,
Let's
I can't
go
remember the
there.
name. But I was seeing that, and it looked really good, but still kind of weird to see Link in an Unreal.
Yeah,
Because
it looks good old too.
It looks good. I mean, part of Nintendo's charm is that they just do heavy detail without being like really realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things
yeah.
I love about Nintendo.
Well, the Mario Kart 8 and that Donkey Kong game on the Wii U, those are gorgeous fucking games. Those are some of the best looking games on last gen, and they're not photorealistic. I mean,
I just
fucking
got
great.
the Super Mario World Wii U game that just went up the Wii U. I just got 3 World or something. I was looking at it, I was like, this game is fantastic looking. I mean, you normally don't see games that look this good.
They just need to make a 3D Mario game in like Galaxies and Mario 64 style. This where you can openly third-person camera and be Mario, because those were hits.
I
for a
mean, I
reason.
guess like a lot of people criticize Nintendo for being childish, which is stupid
Everybody needs to play childish games.
from time to time.
I kind of think it's dumb just to like expect every game coming out to be like, ooh, gritty, ooh.
Well, it's because we've grown up with video games as they've been, and a lot of it's adult oriented. And I mean, some of the most worthwhile games to make financially are adult themed games like Call of Duty and all that shit.
Yeah,
but
which-
I mean, games core audience originally was kids, and so
Yeah.
Nintendo.
I mean-
hey, if Nintendo only makes kid games, I'm fine with it.
But I mean, yeah, it like when you look at the 2000s though, and like when Call of Duty was popular, and you had all those games that were like they tried to be super dark and super gritty, and sometimes it was just laughable. It
Yeah,
was just like,
it's
oh my
awful.
god, really?
Wait, when did Call of Duty quit being popular? Doesn't it still like rake in tons of cash?
I mean, it does. I'm just saying, like that was kind of the peak of its popularity. I don't know if they've ever sold more than Modern Warfare 3. Like I don't know if they've ever topped that.
Probably
Maybe
not.
Black Ops 2 or 3.
Black Ops 1
might
or 2
might have topped
set
it.
some records.
I think they're good games. They just like they need to quit doing this yearly release thing. It's killing them.
I think they just need to make a multiplayer only game and just
Well, they
have
just
a
did.
subscription.
in a way they just did with what was it, Black Ops 3 or something, where it was just on like last
Oh,
gen.
yeah,
there was
360.
only
Yeah.
there was no single player. It was just
Nobody really bitched about that because
I heard
nobody
some.
really played the campaign that much anyway.
I
do.
I liked the campaign. Also, there's really trippy things that happen in Black Ops games, which I kind of like.
I prefer the campaign to just about anything else in a Metal or a Call of Duty game.
Well,
Yeah.
part of it, I won't. Obviously, Jake, you know that I'm a bit better at shooters than you are.
Oh no! You've never said that
Have you
before.
never brought that up, Dave?
But I mean, like, I see why there's some fun to be had in the multiplayer, because I can get in there and have some fun, kick people's asses. But,
I just
I
don't get it.
I sound cocky as all hell, but
I just don't get it. I just
it's-
I take 3 steps to get shot in the back. I was like, this isn't fun.
I used to call it murder circles. It's basically like eventually you just get to a point where you know where all the hiding places are. You're just jumping from hiding place to hiding place. You make a kill, you run to the next hiding place. Like I haven't found a tactic that works better than that, unless it's just running around without hiding, and that just makes it more murder circle.
I have more fun playing Halo multiplayer because by the time I'm getting shot and turn around, that's when my shield is depleted. Because you at least have a shield.
that's true.
It doesn't take 3 shots to kill you in Halo unless they're a really good sniper. But I mean, by the time I can turn around and react to it, I just don't feel like I can react in a Call of Duty game.
I guess it really requires you to have Twitch skills.
Yeah, I just don't. I can't do.
And I don't really like having, I don't really like games that rely on Twitch skills. That's one reason I like Verdun so much, is it relies less on snap shooting and more on, okay, these are our tactics.
It helps a lot to be able to snap shoot in that game, because pop up and just find the target and quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, I just enjoy shooters and usually have a lot of fun with them.
I've never played Verdun.
We need to get to. But how about your news there, Steve?
My news. Well, there has been a leak.
Ooh.
Yes,
A leak?
It's very big.
Are you wearing Depends?
It's gripping leak. No, I like to just shit all over myself.
Give me them Olestra shits.
Yeah. Sometimes I sneeze and shit myself. But no, this is a leak that, it's not even a big secret. You knew it was happening. But Red Dead Redemption is going to be backwards compatible on Xbox One.
You said Red Dead Redemption, and my excitement level went way up, and then you just said backwards compatible, and it went right down to baseline for Red Dead Redemption, which is still pretty high compared to most games.
Well, I'm still going to be able to play the same game, and, it's cool. If everybody's like, well, an HD remake would be good, but I'm like,
It looked fine.
it was great. Still, it looks good.
I've been playing it on 360. When I got the Gato, I was like, all right, I'm going to play some Red Dead Redemption, and we're going to test this thing out. And I got to say, I was really impressed with how good that game still looks.
It holds up really well. And, supposedly it had issues on the PS3. When it ran on the PS3 not very well, and people would say these things, and I played it mainly on the PS3, and I never saw any issues on it. But now I get to play it on the 360 because I bought it just to play on the Xbox One because I knew it was coming. So I got the digital version, and I'm okay with it.
I remember when it came out, I was like, I'm going to get this on PS3 because I didn't have a lot of PS3 games. And then all my friends were like Jake and Amanda were like, oh, we're going to play this on Xbox. Like, well,
yeah,
son of a bitch.
That's the thing I always hate about multiplayer. But, if you're going to play a multiplayer game, I always go into it just like, okay, what are all my friends going to play it on? Yeah, you should just pick that one.
Yeah, but I did see something. There's some rumors booting up that Rockstar might make an announcement this year at E3.
It's gonna be DLC for GTA 5.
Oh my god! Don't fucking do that to me, man. My Red Dead Redemption. I love GTA. Like, let me just say that first of all. You guys know I have like a deep, deep love for Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Like GTA is one of my very favorite games ever. Period. In a sentence. Fucking Red Dead Redemption somehow eclipses my love for GTA, which I've played since like GTA 1. Like, I am old school top down GTA.
Yeah.
I have a love that goes back that far. Red Dead Redemption, like, completely took over that spot in my heart for Rockstar. Like, all my love for Rockstar comes from the Red Dead Redemption and the Red Dead franchise. Like, the first one wasn't great. Red Dead Revolver wasn't great. It was playable.
I had fun with it. I mean,
yeah.
I didn't realize it was a Rockstar game at the time.
It was fun to have a Western game. And then Gun came out.
Though.
And Gun had, I don't know
Gun
if you
any
guys,
good?
Gun was fun.
Was
Gun was
fun.
the open. Gun was Red Dead Redemption, like the prototype. It didn't have as much stuff in it.
It felt
Was it
a
open
little
world or?
Yeah, it felt a little generic, and the world was small, which I don't mind a small world. There was a lot to do in it, and it was good, but it probably didn't have any lasting appeal. Like, if you were to pick it up now,
I think that was a launch title for the 360.
Yes,
I
because
believe
it was on original Xbox and on 360.
Yeah.
it did
And
have
it
some-
looked identical, I think, on both.
Oh
It was
yeah,
pretty
just
much.
the exact same
no,
game.
no, it was pretty much the same game.
With achievements, though.
This was
Yeah.
when you didn't really have any difference in.
Yeah, Call of Duty 2 and was it King Kong? King Kong was on 360. And
Oh yeah, the King Kong on 360 was.
it was a good game.
It
too.
did look better. I will say that. I did
was-
play both versions
Well,
of
yeah,
that.
You could play it on a widescreen TV.
And 360 definitely had like. It was a gorgeous game at the time.
It wasn't even a bad game either.
No, it's not a bad game.
I was just like a first-person shooter in King Kong. I don't see how that's gonna work. And then I'm like, I got sticks and I get to throw them at dinosaurs. And
I'm all right with this. I
fucking
can
awesome.
just
chuck
over the
spears at
wall.
dinosaurs. But yeah, like, why hasn't there been a Red Dead Redemption
Well,
sequel?
I mean, Steve said that it was going to be DLC for GTA. That is not the rumor going around, though. They think that there might be a Red Dead 2 this year.
I'm gonna be real disappointed if they just go, we're gonna make an HD remake of Red Dead 1.
I don't.
Revolver? I wouldn't mind.
Or no, I'm sorry, Red Dead Redemption.
Ah.
Of Redemption.
I don't see why they would make an HD remake if they're making it backwards compatible.
I could see him making a Red Dead Revolver first.
I kind of think they are probably going back to like drum up interest in it again and see
yeah, that
like
would-
is the community still interested in Red Dead?
Yeah.
Yes, everybody fucking loves Red Dead.
I just
Rockstar.
don't see Rockstar really doing these little experiments like that just because they know people want it. I mean, it's not like they're Bethesda where they're like, let's make an HD re-release of fucking every game ever, or like Dishonored. Like, yeah, we needed another Dishonored game right away.
Oh god. Yeah.
But I mean, I like Dishonored, but I just don't like let's make an HD re-release of this game that came out 2 years ago. It's like, who cares? Just make another Dishonored.
You know, every time, like, you look on Reddit and pretty much any gaming chat website, everybody's like, where's our HD remake of this game? And I'm like, why are we wasting time with HD remakes? Like, just go buy, like, I want an Eternal Darkness HD remake. How about you just go fucking buy a GameCube and play goddamn Eternal Darkness in the original format? Like, why do we need an HD remake?
The
of
only
everything?
HD remakes I want, and they've already made one for San Andreas, but if they did the classic 3D trilogy of Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City, if they made those, I mean, fix the camera on 3 and Vice City to where it operates the same as San Andreas, and those would be perfect games.
Yeah.
Just, if they put all 3 of those on one disc on Xbox One, gave me achievements, because I like my achievements, I'd buy that shit.
You achievement whore.
I am a whore with achievements too, but I would buy that because all 3 games on one disc, I would love it. It's not, there's not a real need for it because I play them on my phone too, but I'm not going to dust off my PS2 and my original Xbox to play those. If I can put it in my console I have now, I'll be like, sure, let me revisit this.
I like the PS Classics on the PS Network because, I mean, I don't need a remake necessarily. I just would like some of them to be re-released.
And you don't go broke buying them either.
Usually, yeah. Like, there are some games, like Suikoden.
Yep.
Like, you could have bought... There was a period of time where a new, unopened Suikoden 2 CD, since it was only printed once, it would go for $500.
Yeah.
A used copy would go for $250.
Yeah, you know, it's like you could probably put the first 5 GTA games on one disc, sell it, it would sell out. You know, put GTA 4, re-release of GTA 4 would be okay. I mean, it's not my favorite.
Isn't it kind of interesting, though, that just a re-release is... We're clamoring for the way the gaming used to be. I don't think it's just for nostalgia. It's just gaming's it's catering more to casual people.
I think everybody is just all about retro at this point. Everybody wants to play that game that they had fun with back then, today.
They want to capture that same fun.
Yeah, instead of making, you know, another game that's as awesome as that, it's just like it's easier to just cash in on that shit. Because people are stupid. They'll throw money at dumb shit. And hey, I'm one of them. I'd throw money at dumb shit too.
I think it's also like a good indicator that when the newer games that they're making, they need to start making them more like the older games.
Exactly.
They need to start breaking in the gameplay and breaking in more the stories. I mean, you can make it. They probably need to cut down the marketing. They spend so much on marketing. It's ridiculous.
You don't even need to market a Rockstar game. You could just say this is the release date.
You could fart out the word Rockstar.
You know, Square Enix is the same way. Square Enix, like, I've noticed they don't do the saturated marketing like Activision does. Well, Activision's like, everybody play our game. Hey, look, we got commercials. Kevin Spacey's in it. Fucking come play our game. And Rockstar's just like, GTA 5. Woo!
Everybody's
Alright, we're gonna play that game!
Yeah, they don't have to market it. Or the thing about Square, though, is they like to feed you a bunch of bullshit every year.
Unfortunately.
Because Final Fantasy 15 was announced 10 years ago. And
seriously?
Yep. It was called 13-3 versus whatever, but that game was fucking 10 years ago. And it's just every year they're like, yeah, it's coming.
Well,
it's coming.
I mean, Square does like the hype train.
Square kind of lost its way. I mean, it used to be one of the best places to go for games, like Parasite Eve, Xenogears.
I just bought Parasite Eve the other day.
I have the second one on PlayStation Network. I need to finish it.
But I just... Honestly, I do want another Red Dead Redemption. I don't see how you're going to top it. I don't see how you can make it better because that was damn near perfect.
It was really a perfect personality for a game, perfect storytelling. And like you were saying earlier, there's like... It's almost impossible to want to play as a bad guy.
I know. I never played as a bad guy until they made me in that one mission.
Because you want to be it's one of the best characters because you want to feel like, oh, the hero or the villain that's redeeming himself.
You want the redemption.
Yeah,
you want you had the Red Dead, now have some redemption.
We had the revolver, now we're redeeming ourselves.
Right, now we're redeeming ourselves. And
yeah. Honestly, what I would rather Rockstar made is another Bully. And I liked Bully.
I would like another like LA Noire, but I'm probably in the minority.
I'd like an LA Noire that had replay.
I think LA Noire, after hearing like the horror stories of making the first LA Noire, which was like a fucking 5-year process or something.
It wasn't a Rockstar game though. It was that studio. Rockstar published it. They actually had to come in and help him. It was that Australian studio where that guy, I mean, he was a shitty boss.
Either way.
Cracked the whip
and it had a lot. They had a lot of blowback from that, just pushing that game to get out.
They didn't get their bonuses. They didn't. I mean, a lot of them didn't get really paid compensation they were. They got fired at the end of it because, I mean, they
And
closed down.
that was basically the days where the game industry was like, all right, we're going to open this studio, we're going to make this game, and as soon as the game is sold, everybody's fired, we're all closed.
A lot of studios do that. They do layoffs at the end of it. Like Gearbox, they laid off a lot of people. I mean, they do that with every game. After this, whatever this shit is that's coming out, Battleborn or whatever the fuck that's gonna flop, they're gonna lay off a bunch of their workforce, and that's why they're LinkedIn's for a bunch of game designers that has like a long goddamn list of people they work for because they just hop from place to place.
It's just kind of like the movie industry. You just
Yeah.
your job ends.
You hop
move
on for
to the next one.
Yeah, just
Except without the union.
you're
Like,
just
the movie industry has the union, and
Yeah.
it takes care of you.
you're just a contract worker really when you're in video game industry. But you know,
Yeah.
if you get paid good, I wouldn't complain too much as long as you don't have a family.
There is a rumor. I keep forgetting to mention. The Red Dead rumor going around is that it's going to encompass more of the U.S. Like there'll be the Wild West, and then there'll be the East Coast where you're actually in the cities and they're going the Industrial Revolution.
Oh,
I
that
guess
would
the
be
I
cool.
wonder if you can just ride your horse to the other side, or can you just hop on a train? And
Hop on a
load up?
train.
The rumor is that the train industry is going to be really important.
That'd be a
Yeah.
good part of the story. I mean, as long as it's not copying like Hell on Wheels or something.
Oh yeah, I mean,
The big problem is, like, when was Red Dead Redemption takes place in 1911, doesn't it?
Yeah.
yeah,
1910,
around there, because you
1911?
have like the Mauser and
I mean,
Yeah.
they don't really
Yeah.
need to make a sequel because that story ended. It didn't really.
they don't.
And I mean, you
Leave
could
it
do
open.
it, I guess, alongside, but then you also
you could
have
just make it a little bit earlier.
Jack Marston.
Yeah.
What is it?
Make a game with him when he's an outlaw.
Jax is
Yeah,
after he gets,
Jack's the son. It's Marston, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, Jack Marston is, you see him after, and basically the world is unchanged at that point.
Yeah.
Like, and that was like 10 years after, spoiler alert, John Marston gets killed.
You know, that prologue, that was one of the best prologues. I mean, that was just cool. I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, you mean epilogues?
Epilogue.
Yeah, where you go around and you kill all the feds that
where
that
you
killed your
hunt down
father.
the people.
That was the part where it was just like, that was the
That could
part
have been a
that-
game itself
That
too.
could have been.
Really, that's how I would have done it. I would have left it open, and then the DLC or whatever
Well, they-
would have just been, okay, here's the same world, except it's advanced, by 5-6
Well,
years.
instead, they made the award-winning zombie DLC.
I mean,
Which is
was-
amazing!
Which everybody
from
said
what I've
was
heard.
like
I still haven't played it!
People say
Right.
that's the best DLC. Well, Rockstar always makes some of the best DLC anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
they did that for 4. They
Yeah, GTA
improved
4.
GTA 4 with Ballad of Gay Tony. I don't talk about Lost in the Dam because it wasn't really that good, but Ballad of Gay Tony was perfect.
Yeah.
That
might need to play through the GTA 4
That
again.
was the early.
pretty
I
good.
don't even know if I beat it.
That was the early version of GTA 5. If you watch Ballad of Gay Tony, you're just like, this is where 5 is going to be like. Because at the end of the mission, it ranks you as gold and it tells you what you are. I mean, that's all in 5.
Oh, okay.
They started that with Ballad of Gay Tony.
we need to
Interesting.
do some heists for GTA 5.
I think we do.
Yes, now that we're all together.
Yes. Well, anyways, we're going to take a short break again. When we come back, we're going to be talking about our top 10 games of 2015.
Oh, God, radio voice.
Ooh, radio voice.
2015!
Hey, everybody. Welcome to
list!
K-Frog. All right. Anyways, we'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. Hope you're enjoying the tunes there. Once again, just some free music I found on Bandcamp. More than likely. I don't even know what it'll be, but I'm thinking some chip tunes this time.
Oh, boy. Your choice in music.
Should we really let Jake make all the music decisions?
think we
Nobody
have a
else. Nobody else is making music decisions. If you guys went and found some rights reserved Creative Commons music, I would absolutely throw it on
that's
there.
true.
Yeah,
Too bad we
just
don't own the rights because I got a lot of music I could put in there, but I don't own the rights to it.
I mean, quit playing games with my heart.
Say another word, we'll
You
have to pay
can't
money.
go longer than 12
that's true.
seconds.
That's true. Shit, Spotify is gonna fucking find me.
Play some TLC.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about. We talked about these on social media a little bit. We said a few
Yeah,
words.
this is the inaugural top 10.
Yeah,
Beardyheads
this
list.
is our top 10 of 2015.
In
So
no order.
In no order. We don't do an order because we're adults here.
Yeah.
And we can't pick favorites. It's like picking a favorite child.
Just these are the top 10 best games of the year.
You can do it. Just don't tell anybody.
I do have a favorite child because I don't have any.
My favorite child is no child.
That is a good child to have. I'm telling you this as a father.
So we're going to start with something me and Dave have played a lot of. Steve, you just picked this up, Dying Light.
Yes.
Dying Light is pretty fucking cool so far.
It is great.
Dave, what have you beat it, didn't you?
I did beat it. I actually was streaming the end of it that night.
That's right. I think I watched it.
You
with
watched
you.
it. We and the other dude. You guys were there watching. It's just a fun game. It like combines. I called it chivalry, and at first you didn't see it, but you and I.
Now I see it. Yeah. Now I see it.
The combat is like chivalry. It's just fun parkour. Like it doesn't feel like you always have to run, but the running mechanics are really good, and it's not like the controls are amazing. To me, how about you?
I mean, the controls they're super responsive. They're simple. They're not hard to learn. It's basically like left bumper does whatever you needed to do.
And your character never, like another parkour game, Assassin's Creed, your character often does things that you really didn't want him to do.
No.
Well, yeah, because you press the button and it's all context sensitive.
Yeah,
and like it doesn't really have the problems with the context sensitivity.
Dying Light.
That's my problem with Assassin's Creed. I was like, I didn't want to climb that fucking tree.
Why are you climbing the tree? No!
But Dying Light does exactly what you want it to do. And the combat is simple and it's fun and fast paced. And after the lights go out, or the sun goes down, it gets so fucking intense.
Oh, man.
When the light dies.
When the light dies. Good night and good luck. They actually say that in the game.
They do.
Like,
They come on the radio.
That's the other thing, is the thing I really like about this game is it has personality. It's not just like, here's a generic zombie game. Like, the characters are like distinct and have their own personalities. If you get 3 missions from there's those 2 twins, I forget their names,
Those guys are
and you
bastards.
hate them. You hate them, but they're easily the funniest characters in the game because they're just like, oh, you are so dumb. Oh, we are so smart. And you're just like, yeah, I'm the one doing everything for you. I'm the one solving all your problems.
I will say I like the main character. There's some tongue-in-cheek stuff. Like there's this part where you take this huge drop in a story mission, and he hits the ground because you fall pretty high and hit the trash bags and you survive. And at this one point he just goes, oh, one of these days I'm going to land on a rusty knife. I just fucking know it.
Yeah. And it's kind of a self-aware game like that. Or you'll like come across people who are just like talking to themselves. And if I don't know if you did the werewolf mission where he's like, oh, I'm a werewolf and I need your help. And
is it funny? I mean, I thought it was supposed to be their serious version of Dead Island because Dead Island was silly.
It's interesting. Like there's humor, but it's not the focus.
Okay.
So
yeah. It's a funny game, but it's not necessarily a comedy.
The guy, it's interesting because the main character, he's not entirely a serious guy. I mean, he's doing all this stuff, but the things he says, it's almost like he's not taking it completely seriously.
Is there a learning curve in it? Is it one of those games where you pick it up and you're like, this makes sense, run and do the thing?
It's pretty intuitive, I would say.
Oh, yeah. Controls are easy to pick up.
Controls are good. I mean, they walk you through this tutorial, one of the better tutorials I've seen, especially these days.
I like that because I don't like a game where it's like the first hour I'm just like, oh god damn it. I just want to play this fucking game.
The tutorial takes a little bit, but it feels like it's needed.
Yeah.
Like it feels like it's natural in the story.
Yeah, it's basically, and they even like this is one of those moments where there's some comedies. Yeah. There's some comedies. I'm going to say that.
Good old comedies. There.
I like comedies in my game. But there's this comic moment where he's just like, wow, you picked that up faster than anybody I've ever seen. Like, you go through the parkour tutorial, and he's like, you're pretty fucking good at this. What the hell? He's like, yeah, I don't know what happened, man. All of a sudden, I'm great at parkour.
And shimmied and everything.
Yeah. But, yeah, I would say, and I'm looking forward to the DLC, which releases
soon.
That's why I
in a
bought
couple
it.
of weeks.
We'll be doing
some co-op.
It's really cool because it's the first game in a while, like a AAA title, that has had co-op that I've seen.
Yeah.
Like full on hard. Excuse me.
Full on hard.
Yeah, full on hard.
Full on hard.
Well, it's interesting because this game came out almost exactly a year ago.
Almost.
And the DLC's coming out. The major expansion's coming out
and it's
a year later.
It's supposed to be a pretty huge expansion.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's pretty massive.
I mean, it's not. I hope this is like one of the most original new IPs in a while.
Well, isn't the expansion? Was it like $30?
The season pass
for the season pass. And I think the season pass comes with everything.
Yes, I need to pick up the season pass.
But the DLC, if you already own the game, was it like $20?
I haven't seen
so.
anything.
That's pretty good because, I mean, for people that have never played Dying Light, you can just start in it at a low price.
I think I bought everything for $40. Like, that was the Ultimate Edition with the Season Pass and all the DLC. It was on sale at Humble Store for $40.
up,
And
yeah.
even at 60, like,
It's still a good value.
that's
60.
still a good game at
Almost two
$60. If they're going to add a whole nother campaign, my understanding is that this will be a whole new campaign
And a new
with like
area.
a bunch of and a new area, and like now you can drive cars all around.
See,
and stuff
that's
like
the
that.
DLC model we need.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, here's some 2 hours of shit.
No,
for-
Here's a water gun fight with what's her name? Elsa. I can't remember. What is the chick's
What
name?
game was
Ellie. Ellie and her
yeah.
friend,
That
her
game-
lesbian friend.
That was an awful DLC. I didn't.
I mean, I liked it, but
didn't
I was
add to the
also
story.
glad I didn't have to pay for it. I played it on somebody
I compare
else's.
that DLC to the prequel trilogy of Star Wars. Is
Yeah.
a throwaway line, and let's make a fucking 2-hour video or a 2-hour fucking video game DLC over like, I was with a friend and we both got bit and then she died. And I'm like,
Yep.
oh, that could have been it.
That's how I found out.
And I'm just like, why do we need to play this?
It was a throwaway line.
Well, goddamn, you have bad.
What do we got next?
Okay, well for me, Witcher 3.
Witcher 3.
Yes, I think I'm the only one at this table that has played Witcher 3.
I
Seen
played
a
a
lot
little.
of it.
I watched you play a little bit. Of it.
Yes,
I don't know
you
if I got
watched
to
me
actually
fight
play
a griffin, I think.
It looks amazing.
That's
Early days of Beardyheads.
That was very early, very raw and rough sounding Beardyheads, but it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good game. I thoroughly enjoyed what I've played of Witcher 3. It's very dense. It's open world done right. The thing I like about it is because when you play open world games, there's no personality, and it just seems like, oh, it's just a giant map that looks pretty. That's cool, but it's like you walk around onto your next mission. You can get so fucking sidetracked because I'm ADD. I get sidetracked in these games, and you just walk in. This guy's like, "Help me! There's a thief and a blah blah blah." And then like an hour later, after you go and solve this fucking dumbass mission for this guy, and you're just like, "What was I doing again?"
It's the New Vegas thing.
It's
in New Vegas where it's like, oh, I got to go to this next city and like find out the next part of the main story quest.
New Vegas, but high fantasy.
Yeah, it's like a
right.
high fantasy New Vegas from what
that's,
I've been
that's
seeing.
the thing is, like, you don't need to be a high fantasy fan, and you would love Witcher 3 because it's fucking awesome. Like I love high fantasy and I love it, but if you don't like high fantasy, I could see you'd be like, oh yeah, well it's got the typical high fantasy, it's meeting those beats, and at the same time you're like, holy shit, I can do this. This is fucking great.
It looks like it's pretty over the top and just like they knew what they were doing and they just wanted to have some fun with it.
Well, if you were not a fan of CD Projekt Red, this game
It'll
is
make you a
proof
fan
that
of CD
they know
Projekt
what the
Red.
fuck they're doing, because their next game, me and Jake, I mean, I still have a hard on thinking about
Fucking
it.
Cyberpunk.
Oh my god, I am so fucking, because
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk is the best version of anything sci-fi, and they're making one, and I'm like, if it's anything like Witcher 3, I mean, having that on your fucking resume makes you a good studio.
You know, guys, I'm going to describe their hard-ons. They are so massive that I will not stand around them without them wearing
It's
condoms.
hitting the bottom of the table.
Yes,
I'm
it is.
pretty sure you're all getting pregnant just
I
listening to
I
this.
make them wear condoms when I'm around.
That's okay. That's okay. Gotta be safe, man.
Anyways, but you were saying you get distracted, and the next game I'm going to bring up that made our list is something I know you got distracted on a lot, was Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yes.
You
I
haven't
did.
beaten that game.
I have not
you?
beaten that game because I'm just like, I want to walk around and do things.
That is a very fun thing to do.
Let's see, what was the thing I always did in that game? There was this one mission I kept failing because I was trying to do the stealth, S rank bullshit, and then I just was like, oh, what should I do? How about I just try to enter from that end? And I try to enter from that end, and then I get a little further, and then I get caught, and I'm like, god damn it. And so I just called in a helicopter and just fucking killed everybody, and then extracted
Just
the prisoner.
Fulton all the shit.
Fulton all the shit I needed.
All the
but-
cows.
But all you're supposed to do is you're supposed to get a prisoner, and I kept going at daytime like a moron, and then I went at night and I kept getting seen.
I actually like going in during the day because it makes it easier for me to see. Mm-hmm. So that kind of helps. And I didn't really have a whole lot of trouble. Sometimes I would just, mess up. And here's the hell. It's a very forgiving game, that reflex thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's cheating. Is what that is.
That's
It's
pretty much
definitely-
cheating.
What is it? What is it?
You get in the old Metal Gear Solid games, when you get seen and do the little exclamation mark above their head, and then they're like, "Oh, there he is!" and then like a bunch of people come and kill you. In this one, when they see you, it goes slow motion, and when you immediately pull the left trigger, he'll immediately meter in on the guy that just saw him. Instead of looking around, who saw me? It's immediately points at him, and you can cap him in the head.
Well, that's more like real life. Like,
Yeah.
you think about Snake as like this crazy Black Ops agent.
Yeah.
Or whoever he is, I don't know.
Yeah, he's something.
He's a someone. I don't know. I know Metal Gear Solid is like Pokemon to me. It's all fucking.
If Pokemon was like Metal Gear Solid, I would play it.
A lot more often than we do.
Oh yeah, but I just the thing about that game that was, I mean, you said it's forgiving. It's very forgiving, but I liked it because most games say they give you choices on how to beat a mission. This one gives you fucking choices.
It
Like,
does.
It's like, I can go in at night and be sneaky. I can go in guns a-blazing. I can have somebody else kill them, and then I can just walk in and clean up.
I also like
What the
how
fuck you want?
the enemies react to you. Like, you keep shooting them in the head, eventually they
Wear
start.
helmets.
Yeah. And then you get to points where when you have your mother base and you're sending out teams and they like destroy the supplies, so you can go, go destroy this convoy that's bringing in these machine guns. So then you go into the area and there are no guys with machine guns.
It's like a hella dynamic like
very good.
Battlefield game.
It's very very
Or
detailed.
war game.
I mean, there are definitely some detractions from it. Like, you know, you and I have played a lot, Steve. We've played a lot of Metal Gear Solid. And there's some detractions. I missed some of the cutscenes.
Yeah.
It was there wasn't as much story.
It didn't feel, and the thing is, it's a Metal Gear game. The first hour and a half of that game is totally a Metal Gear game. I mean,
definitely.
you're like, this is Metal Gear Solid. It's fucking crazy and weird and long ass cutscenes. But after that, it just doesn't feel like a Metal Gear game. It feels like Kojima made a game for everybody.
Which is kind of, I mean, it was still a really good game. The gameplay is fantastic.
It was,
but
fantastic.
it did suffer some in the story compared to others.
It was kind of like, oh, okay.
I mean, I remember with 4
That's
there
a
was
game.
there was a lot of backlash on 4 because some of the cutscenes especially towards the end, were like very, very, very
It's
long.
like feature length, weren't they?
Yeah,
Like hour and a half
which
long.
I understand that, and that being a problem. But you can make more dialogue and more of a story in a game without making these huge cutscenes.
I think what he did was he listened to those complaints, but he made story optional because some people don't want that, but some people do. And so the story, the way they shoehorned it in, is it's those tapes. You can just listen to it while you're doing your shit.
Yeah, it still doesn't. It just doesn't. It helps, but it doesn't give me what I was hoping for.
I think the point I take away from that game is it's about the gameplay, because that's the only thing you will remember, really, because the story, you're like, there's a guy with a skull face and
When you get to
stuff.
there are two
That
parts.
sounds pretty dope to me. I'm not gonna lie.
There are 2 parts to the
Vagina
game.
bombs.
There's part 1 where you're fighting Skullface, and then there's part 2, which is a kind of weird dynamic. Part 2 has more story. Like, there's more cutscenes. Like, you go back to your base and something happens. Like, some really cool stuff with Quiet.
Yeah, there's the chick with the boobs, and then there's the skull face guy, and there's a vagina bomb.
And there's this little kid that looks like a little version of you.
It kind of is.
So
Clones.
Vagina Bomb. That was my
Yeah,
that was my wrestling name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
it?
I would be a
backyard wrestling.
I
That'd
thought
be
it
a
was
good finisher.
Tallywhacker.
Yeah. Oh no, I would. You're right. I
Or
was the
that your-
Tallywhacker.
That was as when you were using the club, though, right?
but my nickname, kind of like The Rock is the people's champion. I was Tallywhacker, the Vagina Bomb.
Nice. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Dropping them bombs and them vaginas.
Also, the name of my finishing move was the vagina's elbow. A lot, which was pretty much just the people's elbow, except I only wrestled women like Andy Kaufman.
Nice.
Anyways, speaking of leagues, how do you like that transition,
That's a
guys?
good one.
Yeah, it was a good
Well, all it had
transition.
in common was League.
Rocket League is one I wanted to talk about. Steve, you played some Rocket League yet?
I have not, but I own it.
I think
I'm glad. I'm happy.
I'm pretty sure Jake bought it for both of us.
It's
Does
a
it run on
game
Mac?
everybody needs. Rocket League. I don't know, but we should check out.
If it runs on Mac, I'll play it.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the time you invest in that.
I've
game.
got it installed, but we haven't had a chance to play it together, so I
fun to
haven't really
watch.
touched it.
I played a little bit with my brother. I played a little bit with my buddy Glasses. My buddy Glasses has already sunk 200 hours or something into it.
Jesus.
Like, he gets into a game. He gets into a game.
That's about how much I spent on Metal Gear Solid 5.
I know you'd be texting me, it's like, holy shit, you can do this thing. I'm like, damn it, Dave.
Yeah, because I had more
Oh,
time,
dude.
and I was just like, whoa. Then I looked at how long I've been playing.
So Rocket League it's pretty simple. It's just it's soccer with RC cars.
I mean, what the fuck else do you need?
You really don't need a lot more than that. It's rewards teamwork. Teamwork's super fun in that game. learning the game and like learning how to do stuff in the game. Like it's a very simple mechanic. There's not like a whole lot of buttons to press.
And when you accidentally do something really fucking awesome, you can totally be like, yeah, I meant to do it.
That's because I'm good.
It's because we got the mad RC driving skills.
It's kind of like Mario Kart, only stepped up to be more insane.
It is a lot like Mario Kart. It does remind me. It captures that same fun to me as Mario Kart.
It also appeals if you're looking for a sports game, but you're not really a sports person. Like you two.
That's a good point.
That's good. It's sports for non-sports people.
Pretty much.
It's an esport I would actually watch.
It's kind of like
fun to watch.
It's kind of like taking Twisted Metal and just making it more ridiculous.
Like I could see
Twisted
lining
Metal
up for.
I love Twisted Metal. The only esports I would watch would be if they brought back a Twisted Metal that was worth the shit.
Oh
but
god, that'd be wonderful.
Rocket League and fucking what's the other one I would watch? CS:GO. CS:GO is actually really fun to watch.
I'm gonna have to start watching some CS:GO.
Well, they're short rounds. That's why they're fun. Because the people that are
true.
badass at that game, it's like 2-minute long matches or whatever.
Yeah, CS:GO is something I'd like to get into just cause.
I've played it and it's fun, but sometimes it's like annoying.
Yeah.
Like one, I have no first person view, or not for aim down the sights. Continue.
The next game I have is Just Cause 3.
Ooh.
Just Cause it's amazing. I played a lot of Just Cause 3. I played a little bit of it yesterday while I was trying to watch one of my children. Then he wanted me to not play games anymore. But Just Cause 3 is a lot of fun. If you've played Just Cause 2, you will definitely like Just Cause 3. Well, if you like Just Cause 2, you will like it. Open world, there's a dictator, there's a stupid story. You can mute the game and you'd still have just as much fun.
So it's pretty much, if you're ADD, like
it's great for ADD.
That's another one of those games where it's just scramble around, find something to do.
Just blow shit up.
Well, it's like on my way to a mission, I was like, oh, I haven't liberated that. Let me go blow everything up real quick. And then I'm like, what was I doing again? Oh, yeah, I'm liberating a thing. Oh, look, another town. And but it's
shiny.
It never gets dull. Like
communism.
And you would think this fucking repetitive, I mean, it's repetitive as hell, but it's like, it's still fun.
I mean,
I never get bored with it.
Games can be repetitive and still be fun.
Oh, it definitely is.
I mean,
it's the same shit over and over again.
People complained like Assassin's Creed again because God, it's so easy to attack. But like at the first one, it was pretty repetitive. But at the time, I was like, "This is pretty fun. I don't mind doing this again."
I wish I would get punished for killing random people though.
That was kind of
you would desynchronize. I was like, but I want to knife people and see how fast I can get away.
It would be nice to see somebody like combine Assassin's Creed with like GTA kind of mentality.
Yeah.
The new Assassin's Creed looks pretty cool, by the way. They got that Russian thing coming out. Russian Revolution.
Isn't that one of those offshoot though, like the side scrolling?
I think
might be. Maybe it is.
I know that there's supposedly there is no annual release this year.
Yeah,
which is weird.
That's new.
It's been a while. But yeah, so Just Cause 3.
I love Just Cause 3.
Speaking of 3, this next game, it comes in 3D.
It comes in 3Ds.
All 3 dimensions.
There are 3Ds in this room, by the way, if you know what I'm saying.
And 2 of them are erect.
I know, you were still thinking about Cyberpunk.
Fuck yes I am!
But anyways, this one was this is a remake. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Oh, so good.
If you want to talk about a game that needs to be remade, needs that HD remake, like Majora's Mask is
pretty
definitely...
much any Zelda game is a good one to remake.
The 2 N60... Yeah. And I haven't played Twilight Princess, and I haven't really played a lot of Wind Waker.
Don't worry. You'll play some Twilight Princess here soon.
I'm sure I will.
Zelda games are fun. I mean, that's Nintendo's moneymaker right there. I mean, how many Metroid games have come out in the last 5 years?
Compared that to how many Zelda games?
Zelda games have come out on DS and 3DS.
Oh, what was it?
Basically, they all got re-released, didn't they?
Yeah,
pretty much.
All major Zelda games have been on handhelds.
Wind Waker going to 3DS?
I wish.
It got a HD remake on Wii U.
Wind Waker,
maybe I'll pick it up on Wii U.
Wind Waker's sequels were on 3DS or on DS. They had sequels, Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, and they were the exact same. I mean, they were that game, but it was on a DS, and it's some of the best Zelda games I've played.
Zelda games are very fun. I mean, it was really nice seeing this remake, and they kind of
they added stuff.
They added some stuff. They made the interface a little more simple. Like you didn't have to go into the little notebook to.
Yeah.
I mean, there was just so much to do in Majora's Mask.
It's also one of those games where it's like, you know, with handhelds, you think with the games that you play on a handheld, it's got to be short bursts of gameplay. But that game is one of those that I actually want to sit down with hours and play it, because that's a very immersive game where it's like, okay, here's my schedule. I just reset time. I got to do the thing there and there and there.
I kind of like that dynamic to the game where it's like, oh, I've got 3 days to do this.
I don't think I ever played it enough to pick up on that. Because I think I played it, somebody had the GameCube disc with like 5 Zeldas on it. And I played a little bit of it on there. And I was like, holy shit, this is an amazing game.
I mean, I don't know why it wasn't as better received. I mean, it was well received,
It was rushed.
but it was rushed. It was well received, but it wasn't like Ocarina of Time. And Ocarina of Time is like a perfect game. But personally, I prefer Majora's Mask. One, it's got a darker story.
Yeah.
And it's like it's creepy when you look, especially when we were kids, or especially my age when that came out. And you'd look up at the moon, and it's got this fucking horrible, scary face.
Well, on 3DS, you should see it in 3D. That motherfucker's there.
In Ocarina of Time, like, I couldn't even fucking tell you what the story is at this point. In Majora's Mask, I played probably an hours of it, and I am like, okay, here's what's happening.
Well,
it's the
Ocarina
moon
of Time is the classic Zelda story. It's like Ganondorf's doing the things again. We
gotta stop the Ganondorfs. Yeah. And now go get
he's not even in this one.
The magic items. That's probably what makes
and the
it a
villain
good game.
is a little.
Such a good game.
Ganon's an interesting character, but the villain, the little what's his name? Skullboy.
Yeah,
whatever.
he's annoying as fuck.
He's annoying as fuck, but he's a little more interesting to me.
He's a tragic figure, isn't he?
He's a bit tragic because he was picked on a lot as a kid or whatever.
And he got the mask,
or not as a kid because he still is a kid.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a. I think it wasn't well received because it was rushed. I mean, a lot of the assets are identical to Ocarina of Time. I mean, it's the same,
pretty much.
Exact.
Why wouldn't you? Like, it came out like a year before.
Not just
Ocarina
they
of Time,
like
didn't it?
ripped the character models.
A year after.
I mean, they
Straight-
didn't. They
yeah.
didn't really improve anything. Wasn't that the first game that required the expansion slot?
That was there was only it wasn't the
Perfect
first.
Dark was the
No,
first one. That,
Perfect Dark did not, as I recall. It was
I mean, it required it.
Donkey Kong.
You're right. It was Donkey Kong.
Kong
Because I
3D,
remember, like, I went to Blockbuster
Donkey
to
Kong-
rent Donkey Kong, and they actually gave me the expansion
They
pack.
give you the expansion pack with the rental. I remember that. Yeah.
That's so weird. Back in the day, you had to add memory to your fucking console.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. Right. Like you could upgrade your console. Like
They
Nintendo
built
was already
that
on this.
console with that in mind too. I mean, they
They
wouldn't
did.
have put that fucking removable slot there in the
like-
front.
Well, they wanted it
Yeah,
to have like a
There
12-year
was only
lifespan.
like 2 games that required it.
Like you think about the old consoles, they had like 5 to 7 year lifespans. The N64 is the first one that was like 10 years.
PlayStation had a long
amazing.
fucking
PlayStation 1 also did the same thing though. They had a lot of like, here's the multi-tap, here's
don't remember any of this.
here's the dual analog sticks.
Yeah.
I remember the analog.
And then they would
sticks.
re-release games where they were DualShock version or whatever.
Yeah, here's the
greatest
dual,
hits.
Yeah.
the DualShock versions of all the games. Like PlayStation did the same thing where they kind of expanded it out a little bit with
one of the
peripherals, which you can't do now.
One thing I missed so much about my PlayStation was that Game Shark.
Yeah.
So
Well,
much.
cheating was much easier on those consoles.
It was, and I mean, it was kind of nice because if you want to cheat, let people cheat. If it's their game, they paid you money for
As long
it.
as it's not multiplayer.
Game Shark on N64, man.
Yep.
GoldenEye with N60 on the N64 with the
Hey,
Game
look,
Shark.
I didn't have to do all this shit.
You could just-
Though I do miss the unlocking stuff like you did in GoldenEye.
Yeah. Speaking of unlocking, I don't know. Verdun is the next one on
Oh, you
our
do
list.
unlock stuff in
You
that
can
game.
unlock stuff in Verdun.
Oh, okay.
And
I was waiting for the transition.
It's
there.
a
I was
lot
like,
of fun.
I don't get it.
Yeah, this is
I don't think you knew it until I brought it up. You can unlock stuff.
the horrid transitions.
Yeah, I believe you call this Red Rover the game.
Red Rover.
That is how I would describe it to you.
Yeah.
So Verdun is a World War I shooter, went out of early access last year.
Yeah,
and
we're
they
kind
have-
of cheating because it hit final release last year, but it's been out for a while.
but I mean, like,
because I've been playing it from.
we're also saying like if early access games don't count
that's
until they're released, like
true.
after they're released, that's the year they're released. You know, otherwise, what the hell?
Verdun, I mean, it's a simple game. It's because everyone's running around with bolt actions. It really rewards you to take the time to aim down the sight. And
It's
actually aim and hit something.
It's a tactics heavy game. It like we were talking about earlier. Twitch shooting is rewarded, but also like being able to think tactically and go, okay, like I'm the squad leader. I need to get to this crater,
Yes.
spawn my entire squad, and then we're all gonna run over together, and I'm gonna run behind them so they take all the bullets, and I jump in the trench behind them. Behind their falling corpses, I jump on top of their falling corpses. They cushion me as I fall into the trench, and then I
Because you're
spawn
a
them
monster.
again. And we just keep doing that. Like it's the first shooter where like I feel like death is built in as a mechanic of the game.
You have to die in that game.
Yeah, you have to die
But,
to advance.
It's really cool because like your squad leader acts as a spawn point, and one of the things that like a good squad leader will do is they'll get like across the field right outside the enemy trench, and then your guys will spawn on you, and then they can go in and fight, so they don't have to run across because it's so hard to get across No Man's Land.
Yeah,
One of my favorites.
It's a lot of it's fun though. Like just getting nailed. Like I like when you take cover. They've got that bullet zip mechanic. So when you're taking cover, it's
I also love when you're running and
your screen goes gray.
I love when you're running and you start hearing the machine guns start stitching up the ground around you.
Man, tick, 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 tick. And it's the old machine guns. It's not the old buzz saws of World War II. You know, it's just
really,
like pop, 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 pop,
really
pop,
cool
and you can hear the bullets zinging around you. Oh fuck! It's a game where there's definitely like some oh shit moments. Like I
gotta play it.
Dude,
do.
I think
It's
it's
on
like
sale.
$12.50 in the lunar sale right now, so it's worth. Everybody needs to go out there and play this game. Like in my opinion, it's a better tactical shooter than
Does it
CS:GO.
have controller support?
Partial. It just got
What
it.
does partial mean exactly?
Like it only works with certain controllers.
Well, Xbox 360 controller is the usual.
Usually, I don't know because I tried to play it with the X1 and controller and it didn't work.
Oh, I have my 360 controller that's wired. I'll try it.
I might be getting a Steam controller pretty soon here, so we'll see.
How much are those?
$50. I almost bought it. I was almost gonna buy the.
But then I bought you XCOM.
You bought me XCOM. You ruined my plan. I was like, oh, like you get for $30 more, you get the XCOM or you get the Steam controller. I was like, I should just do that because it's $20 off.
And then I ruined it.
And then you
free
ruined it.
game.
I know. I know.
Well, speaking of cheating on a list,
Are we just gonna do this the rest of the game?
nitpicking little bitches that we are.
Yeah.
GTA 5, Grand Theft Auto 5 or V, as they like to
Grand
say.
Theft Auto V. I like.
For the next gen or the current gen consoles and PC was released last year, and that is on this list because it needs to be on every year's list.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is absolutely the epitome of the Grand Theft Auto series. Like
Yeah,
it improved on every mechanic in San Andreas, every mechanic in Grand Theft Auto 4. It brought back the more cartoony driving, which was completely absent in 4, which made 4 infuriating for me
All the
to play.
tires in 4 were made of butter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they tried to have the super realistic driving model,
awful.
and nobody wanted it.
Spun out like there was no tomorrow.
What I've read, I forgot who it was that said it, but they put it perfectly. They said it's Rockstar's greatest hits in one game. You got the shooting from Max Payne, because they perfected that in Max Payne 3, and actually they put that in Red Dead, and it was the driving from Midnight Club, and it's the perfect open world story from a Grand Theft Auto game. I mean, it's everything you want in a Rockstar game.
The characters are definitely more interesting, the playable characters. I love the 3 characters.
Well, they're definitely not forgettable. Like
Definitely
4.
not forgettable.
They're not Nico.
Yeah, well, Nico's not entirely. He's got the crazy accent.
Yeah, but I didn't really give a shit about him though.
I mean,
I mean-
every Grand Theft Auto game, like the character was pretty much a stand-in for you. I mean, I don't know, CJ. CJ
He
is
was
definitely.
They were stereotypes of something at the time.
Yeah.
Like Miami Vice.
Well, CJ was supposed to be like, Miami Vice or Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Like, they even went and got Ray Liotta to be Tommy Vercetti.
Yeah.
The first one was more, I don't know, you just didn't even have
It was the
voice.
strong, silent protagonist.
That was just
of the
making fun
90s.
of the early 2000s, really.
Yeah. And then 4 definitely brought back the making fun of the early 2000s.
But that was the first one that added more serious. Like they tried it a little bit in San Andreas,
Yeah.
but I mean San Andreas was way too wacky. But 4, there was that one time I was playing it and he's talking to that one mob boss's wife, and there was like a serious moment. And I remember playing it like, wait a minute, what?
When's the joke gonna happen?
What is this? This is weird.
They almost killed themselves just with their success.
Yeah,
Like, oh, we want to try something different,
but 5 is good.
Five is definitely where they've tweaked it to perfection. I'm hoping that we'll get some more single player content because while I love Grand Theft Auto Online, like I want more single player heists.
That is what is going to be announced at E3.
You think so?
Rockstar. It will totally be single player content.
All right. So predictions for E3 from Rockstar right now. Dave, what do you got? You think
GTA.
You think GTA
It's
5
just the safest bet because
single player?
they've never really announced anything at E3. They've always just been like, go to our website.
Pretty
we have
much.
a countdown timer.
I think you're probably right. I think we're definitely going to be seeing some sort of and we'll do like a huge E3 prediction show.
Yeah.
I think
It's a lot of months away.
it's a while from
June?
here.
July?
Yeah, I think it's June or July.
It'll get here quicker than we think.
But I definitely think I'm hoping they'll announce they'll continue a different franchise besides Grand Theft Auto.
Bully. You better be Bully.
But Bully or Red Dead, either or. Like
I want a Bully game, but I don't know how they'd make it.
You just
Cyberbullying.
cyberbullying.
Hey, type angry things into
Drink bleach, bitch.
What do we got? What do we got next, Dave?
I figured we wait until dawn to discuss next game.
Oh,
This guy over here,
oh,
wise ass.
got the transitions down.
Is this what we're gonna do? We're gonna try to one up each other's
The
transitions.
transitions are gonna be way better.
How do we get to the fucking honorable mentions? Mine can't be transitioned.
We
It's
might
possible.
find a way, but yes, Until Dawn, of course, is my game, the next game, and I'm really the only one that's played it, aren't I? Y'all,
Yeah, I've watched a lot of people on YouTube play it.
I
it's
understand.
fantastic.
Here's what I know about Until Dawn at this point is that it's a horror game,
Yeah,
it
and
is.
Peter Stormare is in it. Right there,
He is.
boom! I'm
That's all you
sold.
need to buy it.
I'm done.
Yep,
Peter
that
Stormare.
has the Jake seal of approval. Game of the year, 2 thumbs up.
Hayden Panettiere's in it too.
Is she? Is she
There's-
get naked?
No, I wish.
Well, there's a towel around her. There's no nudity in the game.
That's like everything with Hayden Panettiere.
Pretty much.
Except the
She's a
fappening. Actually, I think the fappening also was a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, I mean it was just one celebrity everybody cared about. But anyways,
Yeah.
Until Dawn. Tell us
Until
more
Dawn.
about it.
It's a weird game. It's like 2 different stories, and the only one everyone knows about is the crazy killer, which is interesting. But what is really cool is that it's the first game in a while that's real story driven, and there's branching story arcs. They call it the butterfly effect.
Yeah, that's a good movie too. Yeah.
Was it?
Yes.
I've never seen
So
it.
they're kind of doing the Life is Strange thing, where it's like you
Yeah,
make
like this
decisions early
happens and
on.
it will affect later.
Yeah.
Like I know for a fact that there's like an entire portion of the game that if you mess up, you won't see it.
Huh.
There's like an entire portion of a chapter.
That's good. I like games that give you choices, but that matter, that actually mean something.
Yeah.
Instead of like Mass Effect 3, everybody bitched, and I get the bitching, but I didn't really care. But it was basically the same ending, just told 3 different ways.
And it didn't matter what you did up to that point. You could choose whatever, pretty
Yeah.
much.
I mean, really, the final decision's at the end anyway.
Pretty much.
Go left, right, or forward.
It can only go forward if you met this requirement.
Yeah.
But Until Dawn, I mean, it's a quick time event game, so if you don't like those, it might not be for you.
Now, in the beginning of the game, I remember in the beginning, because they say you can prevent most people's death or all of them. I remember somebody said you can prevent all of them, but I think at the beginning, they play a prank on one of the girls,
Yes.
and then
You cannot prevent them.
yeah, they have like some sort of falling out.
Oh, what do they have Fallout for?
Speaking of Fallout,
You know, that works in 2 ways. If you've played the game, you'll see how it works, and if you...
yeah, there is a falling. But speaking of Fallout, Fallout 4 is on my list, or on the list because of me. You're welcome, people.
Haven't played it. Looking forward to playing it. Gotta beat New Vegas. Never.
Yeah, that's the thing. I played all Fallout games. I love Fallout. People that complain about Fallout, I get their issues with it, but Fallout 4 was still a great game. Like, if you've never played a Fallout game and this is the first one, you are not going to be disappointed. It's perfect. But if you played other Fallout games, New Vegas is still the best Fallout game. Hands down. It's probably one of the best games ever at this point. Like, on my list of top 5 ever, it's on that list.
Oh, New Vegas is definitely as once again like an old school Fallout nerd. Like New Vegas is just it's the game to beat.
It's amazing.
It's the game to
But
be better than.
4 is good. It's got great personality. I mean, it's Boston. It's got the Bostonian. They even, from what I've heard, I don't really follow Boston accents and all that stuff, but supposedly they pronounce certain streets the proper way that you're supposed to in Boston, and I mean, the detail in that.
Oh,
is
they
amazing.
did crazy amounts of research for it. I know that.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
they've
just
been
Bethesda.
researching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did, like, people were like, oh, there's going to be another Fallout game.
The only thing about it that my complaint is, and I always like this in Fallout games when I'm in a conversation with somebody, I want to know what I'm going to say, because they have it what you're going to fucking say in Fallout New Vegas and 3. But in 4, they do the Mass Effect thing where it's like, this is what you're kind of going to say. Here's a word that means it. And it's like, I didn't really want to say that. I wanted to say something else.
That's whatever. That was everybody's big complaint with L.A. Noire, is it just had, like, here's 3 reactions you can have to this statement. And then it's like
Intimidate.
doubt, and they're like, "You're a fucking rapist!"
Yeah, I
You know?
Yeah, it was so fucking
Cole's-
extreme.
Whoa,
Cole just
whoa!
loses his damn mind.
Calm it down, Cole. Just bring it down to a 9, buddy. Like,
That was
I
my biggest
understand you're
complaint with
trying
it.
to solve a crime here.
Where it's like when you're.
But you have no proof.
Yeah, one of them is like doubt, and he's like, "I think you're a fucking liar." And you're like, "Dude, I just doubt a little bit. I think he's hiding something. I don't think he's a fucking
What
liar."
aren't you telling me? Not, your mother's burning in hell right now because of the lies you're telling. Like, whoa, buddy.
Still a great game though.
Yeah, I'm looking
like
forward.
Horror's great.
I haven't played it, but I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, I love it. But yeah, Fallout 4, I love it. Minor complaints, but I think it's a great story. I haven't beaten it. I just know about the twist at the end, and I think it's a great twist, and you should play it.
So yeah, that's our 2015 top 10,
That's
or
the top 10.
or our stars.
Our stars. We're bringing runners up to the table. Speaking of stars,
StarCraft 2 was an honorable mention.
Damn it, Dave.
StarCraft 2. So that was Legacy of the Void,
Legacy of
right?
the Void was the newest
It's
one.
the final. Is it the final expansion? The
It
Protoss
is for,
expansion?
as far as I know, it's the last one for StarCraft 2. I think they're gonna start trying to do like a
Episodic, kind of like
not
Diablo.
really episode. I think they're gonna start with the MOBAs, like Heart.
Ah,
I think
yeah, what is
Blizzard's
that
gonna
called?
stick. To
yeah, they got
heard that's good.
Here's the Storm.
It's not bad. Heroes of the Storm. It's not bad. It's
Overwatch is the other one.
Overwatch looks good. Heroes of the Storm is actually fun. As far as MOBAs go, I feel like that's the casual MOBA.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know if you guys have played Heroes of the Storm lately.
Yeah.
They got this character named Cho'Gall. He's one of the two-headed ogres. Well, he is controllable by two players at the same time. One guy does all the walking around and his abilities, and the other character just rides along and does his abilities.
Jesus.
So it becomes this crazy, awesome, like, powerful, super powerful guy that can do all these awesome combos as long as you have a good teammate. Me and my brother played as him over Christmas and got some achievement, and, like, I think I ended up, like, unlocking Cho'Gall for free, instead of having to pay for him. But, like... Anyways, we were talking about StarCraft.
StarCraft 2. It was really nice with the entirety of StarCraft, where it really combined like elements of a strategy game, which StarCraft was, and also an RPG. Because between missions, you like to make decisions, you upgrade your forces.
Yeah.
Like you decide, oh, I want these instead of those.
You want your veterans,
Not
your elite guys.
Cocksucker.
Yeah, I like what I did there.
How am I going to transition from yours to mine?
Your elite dangerous, which is my runner-up. Elite dangerous. Sorry about that, Dave. Didn't mean to steal your thunder there.
It's cool. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, the Elite Dangerous Space Sim released last year. I'll be honest with you, it's not my favorite Space Sim.
Yeah.
I mostly included on this list because I'm so happy that Space Sims are back.
Yeah.
That Space Sims are a new thing. Like, I grew up playing X-Wing. I grew up playing TIE Fighter.
It's gonna get
and stuff
overshadowed.
like that. It's going to as soon as Star Citizen gets
When does that come out?
released. Whenever. When it's done.
When it's done. When we are done making money from you guys.
And I mean, like, they've already made $100 million, but like we'll talk. We talked about that in the last one,
did.
where we kind of went more over crowdfunding and like some people have a problem with Star Citizen's model, but like I kind of feel
Like me.
eventually the game is gonna come out. It's all gonna be unlockable with in-game currency that you can earn in-game. Like whatever, it's basically Eve, except you can directly pilot the ship. Which is honestly what Elite is just a very scaled down version of the original game, which I want a little more of.
Is it still in early access? Is that an
Um,
early access game? No.
No.
Because everything on
The
this
game
list had to
it's-
be done.
Yeah, the game itself is released. Horizons, the expansion, I think, is in early access. And
As I recall, you were complaining to me, though, because there's not a whole lot to do.
there's not.
In
And
Elite
that's the
Dangerous.
problem, is it's a big game and there's not a lot there. Like, that's really my big problem with it, is that there's a whole lot of game there. But you can't really see, like, there's a lot you can do, and you can't do it all in a night. But,
It's pretty much an MMO, isn't it?
it's pretty much an MMO.
Speaking of nights,
Oh, I set you up for that. You heard that one.
and a big game with a lot to do, but you don't really care to do it. Arkham Knight. Batman Arkham Knight is my honorable mention. I think I'm the only one here that's played it. And
I think all of these are games only one of us has played.
Yeah.
No, there's a few.
Well, Arkham Knight, I like it. I think Arkham City is a better game, but
Arkham City was
a
a fantastic game.
Arkham City didn't also release with a shit ton of problems on PC.
And that was the other thing, and he said something about early access. I'm like, speaking of broken-ass Steam games.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Arkham Knight, I enjoyed it. I played it on Xbox One. The only thing about it that I wish they would not include or just change altogether was the forced Batmobile segments where you do tank fighting. It's just, it was awful. About the 30th time I did it, I was like, oh, God.
It looked like something that would be fun, but then Batman's all about martial arts and detective stuff, so...
And there is some detective shit in there. It's pretty badass. I mean, it's not a bad game. It's... Right now, I think it's, what's it, $20? I think you can get it. That's a fair price.
Wow, quickly, though, after it came out. That's...
Well, on Steam. Yeah.
I think they had to, just to get people to buy it on
like,
PC.
whoa.
They just canceled the Mac and Linux versions of it, too.
I'm not surprised. I mean,
so
after
broken.
even getting it working on PC had to be a fucking...
And even when it was finally re-released on PC, there were still issues with
Was it graphics card specific issues? Like
No, it was just optimization in general.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Like, I thought one of the graphics chips had more problems than the other.
There was some people that they got it to work on their PC, but they had two graphics cards, and one was rendering whatever background shit at the same time as the other one was doing something else, and they got it to work with hacks, basically.
You basically had to hack it to get the 60 frames a second.
Not a lot of people wanted to do that. And I will tell you, at 60 frames, because I've watched gameplay on it at 60 frames, it looks fucking great at 60 frames. I played it on a console, so I played it at 30, but, I mean, it was still fun.
Yeah.
The writing was not as good. I think they should have got, what's his name, Paul Dini back to write
Yeah,
it.
should have had another game written by Paul
he's
Dini.
only, won an Emmy for his television writing in Batman. You might as well have him write the next one.
Is he also the one who did, I'm sorry, was Kevin Conroy? Did Kevin Conroy come back and do the voice?
Yep, and Mark Hamill.
Oh!
Yeah, the one that said he was retired. Yeah, he came back to do Joker for this
I
one.
thought Joker died in Arkham City.
Well, you got to play Arkham Knight to see how the Joker fits into this
I'm
story.
not sure if I wanted to find out.
He
that
is
bad.
dead. He is. You see him be cremated. Actually, that's the opening. You cannot start the game until you set that motherfucker on fire.
Interesting.
But he is dead.
Batman's-
But he is in the game. The Joker is in the game, and let's just say Batman is as crazy as ever.
I really like the idea of a world where the Joker has died and Batman realizes how much he misses his other. Because
That's the thing, and that's why Arkham City was so perfect. That defeated look on his face when he carries him out and sets him on the car, like he failed.
Yeah.
Like he did this whole thing and he failed.
Too
Yeah.
bad all these games that make all this money, so they want to fuck up an ending,
Yeah.
and then make another game because they know it'll sell.
But
Yeah.
I mean, he's the way that they pencil him into Arkham Knight. It's the best part of Arkham Knight. I mean, there's jump scares in this game that generally made me go, "What the fuck?" Like Man-Bat. The first time you encounter him, it's like you're grappling and you go to a ledge and you're pulling yourself up, and he just reaches over and screams at your ass, and you're just like, "What the fuck is this?" Scares the shit out of you.
It's about time they put Man-Bat in a game, though.
And he is a major part of this. There's like a side couple of hours where you deal with his ass.
I mean, like, Man-Bat and Black Mask, I feel like, are two underrepresented
He was in Arkham
Batman
Origins,
characters. But he
sorta.
was in Arkham City, wasn't he?
His mask was.
I thought he had a cult in Arkham City.
I don't remember that. I know he's getting his ass kicked in the background when you're Bruce Wayne at the beginning and you're walking in.
That doesn't surprise me. Roman's a
Yeah,
bastard.
he's a little bit of a bitch.
Oh, is anybody else?
I think that's about it. I think that's
That was it.
I think that's what we got for the day.
It's good. We
For
did
the
the
week.
things.
We did do the
do
things.
Talked about the stuffs and stuff.
Indeed, we did. Well, guys, we appreciate you tuning in today. If you want to catch us more, you can find us on twitch.tv/beardyheads. Find us on facebook.com/thebeardyheads or on Twitter @beardyheads. Me, Jake, I'm on Twitter @wholeenchilada.
I'm Steven. I'm at SBFought.
I don't have a Twitter for fuck social media.
Yeah.
I think we figured out that Dave lurks on Twitter. He reads our tweets and then he makes fun of us for it.
Do I?
Something like that.
Maybe.
I don't know.
We have a YouTube channel you should subscribe to. We don't
Yes.
have a custom URL for it, but search
your help.
for Beardyheads, or actually just go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/thebeardyheads. I believe we have it pinned at the top.
Yeah,
of
we
our
got a
feed.
pinned post for our YouTube page. So go ahead and throw us a sub there.
Or even on our Twitch page, right?
We
have
got
everything.
another one on Twitch. So if
Yeah,
you find
yeah.
us on Twitch or Facebook, you should be able to find a portal to the YouTube page. Got a lot of cool stuff on there, like Beardyhead's Flying Circus. Steve's been doing some Hitman playthroughs just to piss me off.
Yeah, I've been playing him like the way you should play Hitman.
Dave has been making some War Thunder videos.
Yeah, but I'm starting with Firewatch this coming week.
Oh, I'm looking forward to Firewatch.
I might make some Talos Principle or something
I'll have some XCOM 2 videos
on my laptop. Yeah,
hopefully starting tomorrow.
Hopefully.
But anyways, you guys, thanks for tuning in. Eat it and eat it hard.
Closing statement.
Fuck you guys and your goddamn fucking piece of shit, self-righteous, pretentious ass catchphrases.
Sounds like my wife when she cusses. She just keeps going
God,
fucking on words under
you know
other
what?
words.
Fuck you.
Potato.
Fuck you and the horse you rode.
Floor.
Anyways, it's good to be back, guys.
Yeah.
It's good to be back.
Welcome back, Jake.
Thank you. We're the Beardyheads.
Peace.
Last word.
Fuck you.